What you want? What you want?
Well, we have arrived. It's time to do this.
Let's do it.
So we decided a few weeks ago to try this thing where we're just going to sit here and talk about shit in our lives. And so the first thing I want to do, though, to sort of like get people acclimated, just in case there's anybody like new here that maybe doesn't know who I know they won't know who I am. They probably all know who you are. But the first thing
probably not, but I like to think that. So thank you.
So the first thing I want to do is I want you to tell me, and then I'll do the same afterward. Tell me what you do, but describe it badly.
Tell me what...
Tell me what you do in your life, but describe it badly.
What I do in my life, like for an occupation, I tell grown men what to do and then go hide in the bathroom and play on my phone.
Okay.
So,
and what about in your creative life?
In my creative life, I try to be too punk rock for punk rock. So.
Fair enough. I would say I write about teenage sex.
Oh, well.
That's how I would describe it badly.
This interview is over.
No, I actually write teen fiction, but you
okay.
know. Okay, so, and now you are a poet, right?
We'll call it that until we get into it. Yeah.
Until we get into
it. I'm here today because at one point I thought I was a poet, and then here we are. So
right. Okay. So how did you break in? When did you decide you were a poet, and like what was the evolution of that decision?
Okay, that's actually a good story. That I started just like every white dude. When I was 19, I read some Bukowski. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. Now, back then, I read a lot of poetry. I read, one of my favorite books ever was the Outlaw Bible of American Poetry, which is a compilation of mostly Beats era, 50s, 60s, 70s poetry, the rebellious, raw stuff of that time, and it really appealed to me. I read a lot of it then.
So you like it raw is what you're saying?
Ooh, baby, I like it raw. That's a whole other story.
God.
But where was I? So I read a lot of poetry. During that time I was just a consumer of poetry I just sat there and I read it, which was different from me. Any other art form I've been in, like with music, if I hear a song I like, I'm like, I can do that better. At that time I just kind of read it and enjoyed it, and it wasn't until I was older, almost 4 years ago now, that I kind of started remembering that story. I started writing it initially just, I was going through a divorce. I was writing kind of poetic type things and just sharing them as statuses on my Facebook. And then, like I was telling you earlier, I got the idea. I thought I invented Insta poetry. I was like, I'm going to make poetry memes. And I'm going to share them on my Instagram. And I got my daughter. I didn't know at the time there were actually apps. I
thought you were going to say you didn't know you had a daughter. I was like,
Hell. Sometimes I think she doesn't know she has a dad. But she had 3 or 4 different like photography apps, photo editing apps and stuff. She's like, maybe you can use this. So that my first versions of what I'm doing here, or what I do now, really kind of look a lot like cameras sitting on cereal boxes.
Fuck you, they were. Hey,
that's just since y'all.
In case you don't know, we have these cameras that you see right now, but they're not on tripods. We don't have that kind of money. They're sitting on cereal boxes.
I'm in love with it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good.
But then, of course, I got into this and realized once a few people started liking some of my posts, I go look at their page, and I realized that I had, in fact, not invented Insta poetry, and everybody was doing it, and most of them have a J. initial as well. So I wasn't nearly as groundbreaking as I thought, but I still managed to make a lot of noise, pile up some followers.
There you go. So tell me, in the early days of you doing this, because like since I've been following you, I sort of like, I mean, I like all of your stuff, but the controversial stuff kind of seems to stand out as like your big, like, talk about like the most controversial thing that you've ever done on Instagram.
The most controversial. Ooh, gosh, it's kind of hard to pick one. A lot of the stuff that I would think would be controversial, like, never actually turned out to be. Like, some of the filthier stuff I do, no one seems to bat an eyelash about my poems about strap-ons or things of that nature. I'm sure people have at some point unfollowed, but I don't get any kind of messages about, you know, fuck you for being so dirty.
Right.
You know,
what kind of things get you hate mail? Like what?
Anything, anything, and this is something I've kind of pulled back from a bit in the way I present it. I haven't changed any of my beliefs. Anything kind of socially related. I still deal with a lot of social issues. It's clear whose team I'm on, I believe, by the way I talk about things. But if you go, the one that got me the most hate mail, and every year around Inauguration Day, I get more hate mail on it because people start sharing it again from their memories, but was a kind of a profanity-laced little fuck Trump thing that I typed out. Listen, I was sitting in a liquor store parking lot. I was just mad.
That's the best
I posted
place
it,
ever,
and it was my first thing that
that
went kind of semi-viral. Had several million people saw it, and you know, so that's the kind of thing where you're kind of picking your sides like that, and you use the F word in it, and people are gonna get mad, and then they call you a cuck, and then you have to Google what a cuck is, and you're like,
what is a cuck?
I really don't know. I might be into that, but I don't know what the fuck that has to do with this conversation.
Here's what I think about the F word. I think people say they don't like it, but they do.
What, the F word or the C word?
Both of them.
Okay. Wait.
No, I think the F word. I think people say they don't like it, but I think they use it anyway.
They fucking love it.
They
and
love it.
Just so, since we've already crossed that threshold here, there's going to be a whole lot of the F word on here.
Just so you're not confused about what kind of show this is.
This is still going to be, for those of you who have been following any form of my writing, this is going to, that's what this is going to be. So, but in 3D, so.
3D.
Wait, this ain't technically 3D, is it? Look, I'm coming right at you.
We're in 3D. If you got special like glasses you're wearing,
right.
you know, I don't know. We don't have that.
That's for the premium account. You're going to get a lot more, but we'll talk about that later.
So while we're on the subject of the F word, I don't know how this transitions at all, but we're going to make it work.
We don't even need smooth transitions.
Okay,
here.
so like there's a big thing happening tomorrow.
You mentioned this, and I don't know what it is, and I'm a little nervous.
Well, first of all, it's Jeff's birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's my fucking birthday.
Yay,
so
happy birthday,
apparently
Jeff.
There's another big thing going on.
So tomorrow, I don't know, how familiar are you with Tumblr?
That is happening on my birthday. Okay, this is the perfect first episode. Wow, you're good here.
Wait, so the reason I'm asking you about Tumblr is
Let's
because
talk about this. This is perfect.
Tomorrow is the day that Tumblr has decided that they will no longer allow adult content.
For my motherfucking birthday, I have to delete my super secret Tumblr.
So, and the interesting thing about what they have put in their new regulations about what will and will not be allowed, they are no longer allowing female presenting nipples. And so,
okay, I see where you're going here.
Yeah, so I want to know, like, first of all, how sexist is that language? Second of all, like, what do you feel about female presenting nipples?
I am pro female presenting nipples. I want to put that out there.
So, what are your thoughts on that? Like, why?
That's complicated. I don't want to jump all the way to that's just sexist. And that's me. And you know me, anybody who's followed me knows me, like, that's generally the side I take. I always take the women's side because fucking dudes suck. I'm sorry, y'all suck. But, I get the point that a nipple is a nipple.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a woman's nipple is just a bit more sexual.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm wrong on that, maybe technically I'm wrong.
I think there's
I'm telling y'all what I feel. When I look at a woman's nipple, I tingle in my no-no zone, and a man's nipple does. most men's nipple do not do that for me. So
I guess
now in terms of their policy, that's fucking bullshit. All the nipples should be allowed on the damn internet.
That's my thing. I think there's the notion out there that men especially, but in general people, because there are women that think this too,
yes.
that we have
we've
over-sexualized the female nipple when really it's just a biological reality, and it's... You know what I mean?
I mean, you're right. I'm going to take that. All right. Y'all right. The internet's right.
Because here's the thing. Tumblr is serving everyone in terms of like...
Well, doesn't Facebook have similar policies in terms of male nipples?
And that's another point that people have tried to make, is that other websites have had these rules and policies for years, but Tumblr is only just now adopting them. And so like I think people have always seen Tumblr as like a more like, here's where you go if you want to subvert Facebook's, draconian whatever.
Right.
And now it's like people are losing their one and only like, whatever.
Yeah,
like, that's the argument.
And honestly, here's my gut reaction to this conversation. If we're having a conversation about nipples, then that means there's definitely not going to be anything I want to look at there, because it ain't anybody's fucking nipple.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, as far as I know, like other adult content as well.
I understand that's a slippery slope into like full-blown sexual organs, but here's
another
nipple.
side. As an artist, I think here's the other side of the debate, is that a lot of people are creating fan art of female characters on series or in stories, and they're creating like this digital, like beautiful art that they're trying to get followers on and trying to make go viral. And like and to them that's art. It's not pornography or adult content. But Tumblr is kind of saying no, these are still female presenting nipples. You can draw this shirtless guy from this show and like show all of his curves and whatever and his whatever, but you can't draw but you can't draw this female character because it's a female presenting nipple and therefore it's not allowed.
That I'm gonna go with that's a double standard on that. Even like I said, and I will fully admit that, and whether that means I've fallen into the over sexualizing women's nipples, at the end of, for as enlightened as I try to be, I am also just at my core a fucking pervert. So I can kind of see this particular subject from both sides, I suppose. But I mean, I might be the fucking reason that they need to do something about women's nipples.
To level with you, like obviously genitalia are out, whether it's a guy or a girl.
Disagree.
Now, Tumblr has allowed that. Now, I can understand. If you're going to come up with a policy like Facebook and whatnot, like obviously, vaginas and dicks, no. Like, okay, I could see that.
That was not their previous policy.
No.
I'm just going to throw it out there my dick is all over Tumblr.
You heard it here first. If they're going to incorporate a policy, I get that. But to say that the female nipple is on the equivalent of a dick or a vagina, but the male nipple is not, to me is problematic.
That's beyond problematic. That's just ridiculous. When we're talking about it within the context of what we're talking about now, and you're drawing lines on this, that is a really ridiculous kind of arcane place to draw that line.
So really what we're getting at here is find somewhere else for your porn.
You've got like 24 fucking hours to find my dick on Tumblr. So
the way I understand it is they're going to depend on users to flag adult content before they actually go in and remove it. So it's like, I've
actually already gone in and tried to delete the whole account, and then it's not letting me do it. I think they had a rush on people deleting their accounts or something. Right. Because
so you're on the backlog, is what you're saying.
Maybe they're going to get to me shortly. So I think me trying to delete my account is just me being like, look over here, you don't want me here anymore. I think, and now something goes into this, and I've read a little bit about it. Is this isn't necessarily just a all of a sudden Tumblr decided they had some higher moral standard. There's been some laws changed that have a lot to do with sex trafficking, child porn, things of that nature.
Oh, it's like Facebook no longer allows you to state like your sexual orientation or like whether you're what you like to do in the bedroom.
That puts these companies, whether it's Tumblr or Facebook, in a position where they could be liable in a lawsuit type situation. So this isn't for as angry as it makes some people, me personally. This isn't a moralistic crackdown. This is them protecting their pocketbook. I understand that. I don't even know that the spirit of the law, the particular laws, intended this fallout. That's what happens a lot, though. I think the spirit of the laws was just to crack down on, sex trafficking, child porn. Right. A lot of times, it's the nature of any kind of law. You cast a wide umbrella, and it might catch people who just want to do dirty things on the internet very consensually and at a legal age.
But it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, all right, we're going to punish everybody to
and that's what it feels like. Yeah.
So, but obviously, I mean, there are other places on the internet where people can, do their thing.
Yes, there are.
I wonder too, like, do you think other companies will like latch on to this decision and say, oh, well, since they're not going to allow it, you can come over to, I don't know, is LiveJournal still a thing? Do people
I don't
still
know
do that?
what it's going to be, but this just the nature of the entrepreneurial spirit. Someone is going to benefit from this. Yeah. Someone's going to, I don't know who it'll be, how long it'll
capitalism.
take, but I will find somewhere to put my dick on the internet. It's going to happen. Someone's going to step up and fill that void is not what I want to say, but
well, you said it though. It's out there. It's forever on the internet.
So
somebody
and
gift
that's
that.
The one thing about that. We always go to these freakouts, and whether it's Facebook doing this or Instagram doing that or Tumblr doing this, when somebody changes their thing, that's always an opportunity for somebody else to step up. That's where all these companies got their start, somewhere along the line.
Somebody had to
there
fill
there was a market that no one was taking advantage of. Now, if these entities want to shut down for whatever, somebody's going to find a way around those libel rules. Somebody's going to,
right.
And that's just what's going to happen. You just got to sit around and wait.
So if you were going to, let's while we're talking about that, if you were going to take something where let's think of some place that you like follow or that you're interested in or like a field, what void do you think you, Jeff Welch, would fill if you were an entrepreneur and wanted it, like you had an unlimited supply of money and could create your own anything? What void would you fill?
Create my own anything.
Stumped him.
Everything. Yeah, that did stump me just a little bit. My mind instantly went to like some sort of porn studio or whatever.
It doesn't have to be adult related, but if you want to.
I mean, thank you for that addendum there. That's just what my mind does. So
Same.
Can you believe there's a grown woman married to me and she's happy?
I mean,
and we're gonna have her on one of these at some point as well. If I had unlimited resources,
I thought you were gonna say, and we're gonna have 3 more kids too. Like,
oh no, the fuck we're not.
Just kidding.
We're just gonna keep trying.
Trying without success.
I actually, and then I'm gonna back up here and go take a serious crack at this question.
Sure.
If I could do whatever I want, the things I've done through my writing that actually meant the most were, in spite of all the dirtiness and the this and the that, the fun that I have is when people kind of behind the scenes send me messages, whether it be I've had people send me messages who were getting ready to go to their meth dealer and needed somebody to talk to, not to do that. I've had people who were like this close to suicide message me. I've had things deep. Like there is a inpatient drug rehab program in Canada that I think they've done it 3 times now. I've kind of had the guys there have had like a J. Warren Welch art day where they make pieces of art with stuff that I've written on. The stuff like that to me, for as much as
what
I like
is that
to have
like?
fun,
just to kind of side tangent, what is that like to see your work like made into things that people care about it so much?
In that particular context, it's extremely humbling, and it makes it. If it wasn't for stuff like that, there's no point in us doing this. There's Absolutely. No point in me keeping on doing the stupidity that I do on the internet. Something about what I do and the way I do it that is kind of, it it doesn't fit in anybody's kind of preconceived notion of what it should be, but something about the way I do it and the open way I do it makes me the kind of person that people will send that message to a stranger on Instagram. And I want to be that person. If I had unlimited resources, I would pour that into doing that sort of thing more. You know, having more time to do that sort of thing. As you know, I work a full-time job. I'm married. We've got 5 daughters between us. It's busy, and I do what I can with the time that I have. If I had unlimited time, it would be poured into more of the drug addiction, mental health. Yeah,
just helping people cope with your art. Basically.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, like I'm not a professional. Like people, and that's the first thing I tell people. They'll message me, and I'm like, you know, always find you a professional. Sometimes people just want to talk to a dumbass. And I am there for that. I am the dumbass to talk to, but who possesses some empathy and has thought most of the thoughts these people have thought before. Right. I'm not there for any answers, but I'm there like I fucking get it. Yeah. So yeah, that would be ultimately that's still the goal. You know,
that's awesome.
We gonna get paid and we gonna help people.
Do you want to know what I would do?
What would you do?
Do you know what market void I would... Okay, I don't know that it's a void because you can get it in other places, but I want to create an app that is called Hump Day that is just for Hump Day pictures of people's asses. Yeah, that's it. You open it and it's...
I feel like we're going to make this happen.
Listen. Fund it. Kickstarter. We're going to start a Kickstarter. That's what I would do, though. I would make a Hump
Day. And that way
app.
you could just scroll through pictures of only asses without anything else getting in the way.
And we could sell ads for it that would pop up like every so many ass pictures. They're advertisements. Yeah.
You fucking went too far.
Listen, and the ads. No, listen, and the ads. You know, like how you get those fucking annoying ads that like, oh my god, I've seen this 8 gajillion times. Like, get it out of here. We're gonna make advertisements that are geared toward asses. So like products to help asses.
Proctology.
Yeah, like listen, if you do like prostate exams, advertise with us.
I'm a bit of an amateur proctologist myself.
Advertise with us. Listen, I'll give you you get a competitive rate as a
fucking hell.
We're going to make this happen. It's going to be a thing. Yeah.
I mean, we're making big plans. Making an episode and life plans all at the same time.
Hump Day, and it's going to be not D-A-Y, but D-A-I to be like super fucking hip. Hump Day.
Am I allowed to be that hip? I'm turning 41 tomorrow, man.
Or maybe we should be D-A-E like bay, but it's day, Hump Day.
Okay, that's definitely not going to be a thing.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm still learning how to use lit in a fucking sentence, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, I think this first episode has been lit while we're on the subject.
I was thinking more jiggy, but let's go with lit.
Oh, God. You're like firmly in the 90s right now. Like we got to get you into the 2000s. You had me
at firmly.
But now to be fair, you're at like 99. So, I mean,
that was the good part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that like
I'm still worried about Y2K.
When people were losing their shit over Y2K, like those were good times, man. Like we were sitting in I remember New Year's, like my mom was so scared. We were sitting there and she, for some reason, turned off like all the lights and we lit candles and like we were praying and just it was.
I'll tell you what was scarier than Y2K though was 1985 when we threw a blanket in the yard and waited for Jesus to come back, and he did not show.
Oh, was that one of those
on
situations?
The next episode?
That's a whole other talk for a whole other time. All right, well, it's been real. This has been a
really good kickoff to this. I think y'all know what the fuck this is going to be.
Now you know
what kind of shit show this is going to turn into.
We'll see if your nipple comments get any kickback. But if they do, that's good. Like come back for another one.
I totally outed myself here, didn't I? I am just primarily a fucking perv. I got a good heart, y'all.
He does. He's got a great heart.
But girl nipples make me tingle, and I ain't gonna say they don't. So.
And if you want to know more things that make Jeff tingle, you got to come back next week.
We just changed the name of the show on the next episode of Things That Make Jeff Tingle.
TikTok. It's TikTok. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what it is. We actually don't know what it is at this point. So, I mean, maybe by the time you guys are watching this, we'll have some kind of title for it, but I don't know. So,
we're going to throw a title on the video.
Yeah. All right. But for now, I think it's been a good first week. And, yeah. So we'll do this again.
All right. We will do that. And for anyone who wants to get involved, maybe have a suggestion for a topic or a specific question, we will throw Dustin's Instagram link in the description to this video. Yeah. And you can hit him up directly because this is really Jeff a situation here where I want to just wake up and maybe not put on a shirt and come into my living room and he controls all this. So I don't really need to know. Maybe if have to prepare.
Everybody that's watching, if you'll slip us $2, if everybody slips us $2, then Jeff will do one of these episodes naked. $4. Yeah, all two of you slip us $2.
Which is definitely enough for me to do a naked episode.
Hey, I mean, whatever, whatever. Right. Just for the record, I'm never doing a naked episode. I don't know if all of you slip us like $100, right. I might take my hat off.
Now we're gonna make this happen.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, well, thanks a lot. We'll see you guys next week. Please join us. Yeah, have a good one. Bye.